So, it started 20 years ago when I came back for my postdoc in United States at Columbia University, that I have a few insights. One of them, that in order to compete with Americans, one coming from Israel has to think outside of the box. It's also fit our mentality, sometimes for good, sometimes for less. It's especially to think outside of the box, because the role of the big number plays in defined playing in the box, it's more difficult. So I have to look for things that are not many people are working on. רונית, בואי תעני, בבקשה. The second thing that I like to, as a physician, to work on preventions of disease rather than treating disease. And thirdly, that you have to think about platforms, not to try to speak for a specific disease, but you have to work on some new concept, things that can be applied to many diseases. And this is when we came to the COVID-19, it fits my theories. So number one, 19 out of 20 patients with the COVID-19 do not need any therapy, just symptomatic therapy. They are going to recover anyhow. In 5, 6, 7% of the population suffer these windows of 5 to 10 days. We think we do not really know. It used to be patients with high risk, but now it's only average risk, even youngster. Maybe obesity is a known risk factor. So some of them, there is rapidly clinical deteriorations that lead to pulmonary insufficiency due to overreactions of the immune system, what we call the cytokine storm. And I've been working in the last 20 years on a new gene that is called CD24. It has many roles in our body, but in particular, it's negatively regulating the immune system, suppress the immune system. To suppress the immune system. In the last 5, 6 years, I've been working on exosomes. Exosomes are very exciting new things. I don't know if you are aware of it. Exosomes are vesicles derived from the membrane of the cells, are very in charge for cell-cell interactions. It is amazing. The cells in our body talk to each other, speak with each other, exchange informations. And in my lab, we know how to isolate these exosomes, concentrate them, and force them to express CD24. And finally, we have a good experience in other animal models how to give therapy by inhalations. And we also have a strong clinical unit that's doing research, clinical research. So we're able to combine all of this. And from 6 months, from idea to first in humans, never described before, most probably will never be described again, because it was very fast and very efficient, because had all of the system that I've described, we were able to assemble it because they were existing. It was not something new. The product is new. So this is exactly what our drug, it targeted not to treat the COVID-19, but to suppress the cytokine storm that leads to a pulmonary insufficiency. It's based on important gene, important product, CD24, that is very strong inhibitors of the productions of cytokine and chemokine. It inhibits this pathway, his name is NF-kappa B, and the CD24 inhibits the pathway in 2 critical points. Therefore, it's so effective. And we have tried it in vitro and in vivo, and then we gave it in a phase 1B, 2A to 35 patients. The drug seems to be absolutely safe. We haven't seen any serious adverse event, even adverse event. And mind you, those were patients with high severity of the disease. And in all of them, it was pleasant to see that the drug has a good potential to be effective. Having said that, as much as it is promising, in order to be sure that the drug is effective, we are launching now a new phase when we compare the drug versus placebo. So this is...
It's exciting.
It is.
It's very exciting.
And this is actually can be a platform to numerous diseases, not only COVID-19, because we do not treat COVID-19, we treat only this 1 out of 20, not 19 out of 20 that do not need therapy. The one who need therapy, we do it and we treat it, and it's not the virus itself, it's a cytokine, so what we call ARDS. And actually, this leads us to ability to have many new indications to many diseases with unmet need, like I said, ARDS with mortality close to 40%, and other common diseases like asthma, COPD, interstitial lung disease, and many others.
With your study, your phase 1 trial, you had 35 patients, and you said they were high severity cases. What was the measure you were looking at? Was it how many days before, or I guess, how did you measure whether or not it was being successful?
So yeah, we did actually, it was based on clinical criteria, namely respiratory rate between 22 and 30, oxygen saturations in the blood between 90 and 94, evidence of COVID-19 infections in the lung, either one of them, and some levels of laboratory evidence for the cytokine storm, mostly CRP, but also interleukin-6, LDH, fibrinogen, ferritin, and other inflammatory markers. So one of them to show that indeed the cytokine storm do exist.
When do you check up on them again? How does a phase 1 trial work? Do you look up a month after?
So maybe I should mention also about my drug. I believe in simplicity. In order for a drug to be successful, it has to be simple, easy to give it to patients, and it's very easy to give it to patients. We gave it once a day by inhalations, which last 4 or 5 minutes. Like when I was a male nurse at the emergency room, when I was a medical student, I was working there, and I gave it to many patients, like with asthma, I gave eventually exactly the same way. I can show it to you. It's something very simple. You just put it here. You know, this is a mouthpiece. You put it here. This is a drug. You see it? This is a drug. Simple. You give it, you put it. It's very simple. And we gave it for 5 consecutive days. And we follow the patients every day. And then after a week, and finally after 35 days. And now the first patient in was September 26. So now we have a follow-up of close to 9 months. And again, no side effects, and all of them recover well.
One of the things, with all the vaccines going on, everyone's very focused on the vaccines, but how important is it to be looking at treatments for COVID patients as we go through the pandemic?
I think follow-up is very important because it's a new disease. We still do not know. There was severe damage to the lung, especially in those with severe disease. We still don't know. Time will tell. Definitely we need to follow up them. Pulmonary function tests, other diseases, obviously we have to do. You mentioned vaccination. Now, Israel is a good example for vaccination is working. Now, Israel, 65% of the population is vaccinated. It is working. We do not see rarely a patient with COVID-19, and hence when I'm launching my international multi-center study, obviously I'm looking for sites around the world, and there is other countries in Israel. I guess we still have it, but not that many. But having said that, if I was a CEO of the world, I would put a lot of efforts in obviously do the vaccination as much as possible. And any vaccine is good. We have the experience with the Pfizer, but any vaccine, I guess, whatever is available, use it. But at the same time, we are not sure for how long the vaccine is going to be effective. We do not know if there is going to be any emergence of any mutations. Now, they're speaking about the Indian mutations. There is a very strong biological power on the virus in Israel. Maybe they're going to emerge the Israeli mutations because we put a lot of pressure, biological pressure on the virus. Maybe a mutation might be emerged. And we also know that some people cannot be vaccinated, some were not vaccinated. So along with the vaccination process, we also have to have a remedy to those who need it. Not anyone who is being infected, but those who might deteriorate it into the pulmonary insufficiency. And the last things about our drug, it can be produced easily, effectively, efficiently, and at a relatively low cost. Within a couple of months, I can supply the entire world needs.
So how long, you have your phase 2 trial, then I assume you go to a phase 3. Is that how it works?
So now we have completed phase 1B2A. 1B because we have evaluated a few orders of magnitude. We went up to 10 to the 10th we're never going to reach what we call MTD, maximal toxicity dose. Now we are launching in Greece a phase 2 trial, which called the minimal effective dose, trying to see what is the minimal effective dose. And in parallel, we are preparing for the phase 3 international multi-center study. And now this is under approval in the Israeli Ministry of Health. They are tough. So I'm happy whenever they are tough about safety, about other regulatory obstacle. Hopefully they are going to understand the global pandemic, and they will be a little bit more flexible, not on the account of safety.
Yeah, and just for our own selfish reasons here in the United States, how long do you think it would take, or what does the timeline look like for if you're going to submit it for FDA approval?
So now we have started our process of the pre-NDA. We'd like to go to the FDA. They have a fast track. Hopefully, what I hear that they are more flexible nowadays. I think it depends on the levels of the pandemic in the United States. As I hear that also the vaccination is going improving. So, but I think, yeah, definitely. And the United States as a leader in the world should be more flexible and let new drugs, because as much as the vaccination is going to be effective, and I hope it's going to be effective, we're definitely going to need something if it goes wrong from any indications, any reasons, as we have just discussed. So hopefully also the FDA is going to be tough with the safety, but easy on other regulatory issues.
And I was going to ask you, you said it earlier, but this isn't obviously this would be helpful during COVID-19, but you were saying this would be something that could be a treatment for other diseases.
Absolutely. Now we have a proof of concept for a safety of a drug. We have experience in animal models that is effective also in asthma, COPD, interstitial lung disease, sepsis, ARDS, many other diseases that we do not have good therapies, and definitely there is unmet need, and hopefully we can use this, because what I'm talking, it's nanotechnology and it's biological, something that our body produces. Therefore, I did not expect, and now I confirm that there is no side effect. So this is what's so excited about, and this is something new. Exosomes are going to be the new things in medicine and research. There is hundreds of clinical trials using exosome nowadays. None address the clinical approval yet, but it's going to be soon. I'm confident, and like I said, it is something safe.